Okay, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to this week's Dynamic Flow, where we will be focused on one-legged balances. I had realized I haven't been doing a ton of those. Part of it is space constraints. I don't have a lot of forward room here, but at the same time, it's not totally an excuse. I've been focused on other things. And then a former student of mine from New York, Richard, had mentioned he wanted a little more of that. So we're going to do that today. It's a great idea. We're going to start on the ground in a moment, getting our legs prepared. And especially important for one-legged balances is remembering, as with all of basically any movement, but especially with balancing, is the relationship between what your legs are doing and core engagement, and as well as shoulders, because with all sorts of movement, we tend to hike up our shoulders without realizing it. So we're going to do a little work in the beginning to prepare for that. And then as we flow, we will get a lot of balancing in today. As always, derekbarris.com/yoga for schedule updates and donation links if you're inspired. And there'll be an announcement for the next Zoom workshop, which will be on June 7th. And last thing, sorry about Saturday's class. I realized afterwards, and some people had mentioned that it was kind of crackly. This is a new audio system I'm working with, and with the lav mic. So I turned it down a little bit, and I worked on a couple things with the audio. Hopefully it won't be that bad today, but we'll keep dialing that in. All right, so let's begin on our backs. And hug your knees into your chest. I also do suggest a block for today for the Halfmoon and Revolved Halfmoon portion. You don't necessarily need it, but if you want to use it, that would be great. So just making some circles on your back for a moment. And then windshield wipes, bring your feet down and drop your knees side to side. And the one thing about balancing, one of the things, but is making sure that your feet are parallel. So we're going to do a little rotational work. Extend your right leg up. Your left knee is bent here. This is really focusing on this rotation. And notice pointing your big toe directly overhead and noticing how that feels, and root down your femur bone. And then just play with some external rotation. So rotate your leg out and then back in a couple times. Just getting that hip joint ready for the movement that is to come. We're going to do a sequence in a moment, and it's going to be 5 repetitions, 3 different progressions. You may stick with the first progression and just do that 15 times. Okay, so next time you externally rotate your leg, keep your left knee bent here, and then just lower your right leg almost to the ground, and then lift it back up. So working that external rotation 5 times. And as always, trying to come up and down at the same tempo. So control, more important than speed. And 5. Now as you come up, you can stay here, or second progression, extend your left leg out to the ground, and we'll do 5 more. And you can also externally rotate that left leg if you want to get that leg prepared. Should feel a little bit more core engagement now that our leg is straight. We'll take 2 more. 2. And 1. And then lift back up. Third progression. You can stay with either of those 2 or lift your left leg. Lift your chest. You can extend your arms overhead. And we'll do 5 leg raises here on that right leg. So even here we're in external rotation, but we can feel the engagement of a warrior 3, right? With our center being contracted now. 4, last one, and 5. Bend your left knee, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and just stretch it open for a moment. Push your knee away from you. You can use your hand or not. And then I'm just gonna pulse this right leg a few times, pushing away and then relaxing. 2, 3, 2 more. And 1. Okay, let's go right to the other side. So placing your right foot down now, extend your left leg up, flex your foot, and begin with the external rotation and back to neutral. And I always find it helpful to just imagine a ball and socket, right? And imagine you're rotating the ball as smoothly as possible in the socket, even if it doesn't feel smooth at first. As with anything, repetition is key. Let's start with the lifts. So externally rotating that left leg, right foot is down for the first set. We're gonna lower that left leg and lift it back up 5 times. And you can also engage your abdominal muscles here. Right? You always want to, it's just we tend to forget. And 5 here. Now lift back up, stay with this progression, or extend your right leg out and flex your right foot, or externally rotate it. Still in flexion though. We'll take 5. Two more. And 1. Okay, last progression. If you're up for it, leg up, arms overhead, and let's lift and lower that left leg 5 times. Final 2. And 1. Lift, put your right foot down, cross, easy pigeon, press your left knee away from you, and relax it. A couple times there, pulsing that. So that's external rotation. We're gonna do one core exercise here in neutral rotation in our hips, just to fire up our center a little bit more, and then we'll come up. And 5, put your left foot down. Now, with your knees bent, engage your abdominal muscles and try to flatten out the curve on your lower back. So we're gonna try to keep that flattened out. We're gonna hollow a little bit here. So stay engaged. Now, before we do anything, see if you can press your tailbone to the ground instead of curling it up while your abdominal muscles are engaged. All right, and then extend your legs up to the ceiling. You can stay here, palms down, or come up with me, arms forward. Last phase, arms overhead. We're gonna do reciprocal raises, lower your right leg. 2, and then set a 10 here. Let's turn both legs. Try to keep that curve as flat as possible. There's halfway, 5 more. Final 4, 2, 1. Hold your knees in, give a squeeze. All right, just a little bit there. Let's rock up to sit, and we're gonna cross and press back to downward facing dog. And just take a moment here, pedal out through your feet. I'm going to do a little abduction, adduction work here on the right side. I want you to come out to plank pose. Find a strong center, so engage from center, drive your heels back, float your right leg up. And bring your right leg over to the left and out to the right with the toes pointing down. Over to the left, to the right 2. We go for 5, 3, strong center, 2, last 1, take it out to the side. Press it up, down dog, split. Bend your knee, open up your hip. And pull your right knee to your chest and step into lunge. Tap your back knee to the ground. All right. Take an inhale, pull your heart forward. As you exhale, stretch both legs straight. Let's take this slow, 5 times. Just finding a little drop there in that left hip, and then pulling your right sitting bone to the back wall 2. 3. 2 more. Try to find your range of motion here for 4. Last one. Inhale. Exhale for 5. Take a breath here. Pull your right hip back. Relax your shoulders and neck. And then rebend your knee. Untuck your toes. Stretch your arms up. Low lunge. Push the top of your left foot down and then side bend here. You can steeple your hands. Just getting into your side body for a moment. It's going to be a pretty frontal class oriented until we get into the half moon poses. Now take an inhale, open your arms up. Then as you exhale, bring your chest forward, sweep your arms back behind you, palms face down. Stay here. You can tuck your toes, or otherwise top of your feet. You're going to pulse your left knee up. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 2. Up. Hands down. Standing split. Pull your left leg up. Now you can drop your head. I'm just trying to work with my mic here and not push my beard into it. So you can bend your left knee. You can curtsy around. We're going to get into all this, but just moving that left leg around for a few breaths. Really drive down through your right foot while you do this. So that right leg is really fired up here. 2 more breaths. Now, bend your left knee, open your hip up like a half moon with a bent knee, like Chapasana, and then bring your left knee down outside of your right foot. You can sit all the way back. It might be too early for that, but you can come down pretty low. Let's do it again. You're going to press up, open your hip up. So now big range of motion here as we warm up these thighs. 2. 3 more. Inhale, up and open. Exhale, sit down. Final 2. Last one. And now from this low position, bring your weight forward, step to plank. Take a breath, heart forward. Traditional flow, Chaturanga. First back bend, inhale. And downward facing. Pedal out through your feet. Just notice that right hip. And then come out to plank. Heart forward, belly in. Float your left leg up. Go over to the right, and then out to the left. To the right, left 2. 3 more. Last 2, squeeze your forearms towards one another. Last one. Out and up. Down dog split, open it up. Take an inhale. Knee to chest, step into lunge. Tap your back knee down. All right, sink your hip. You can keep your toes tucked for this part. Inhale. Exhale, stretch both legs straight. Inhale, tap your knee, heart forward. Exhale, stretch 2. 3 more. For 2. And 1. When you get your legs straight, pause for a breath. Pull your left hip back, wrap your outer right hip forward. Tap your right knee down, untuck your toes, stretch your arms up. You can steeple again or not, and again, just side bend, back bend, forward bend a little bit here. Do some circles. Okay, and then open your arms up, inhale. Stretch your arms back behind you again. Toes can stay tucked or not, just 5 pulses. Lift your right knee, tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it up, hands down, standing split. Pull your right leg up. And again, for a moment, just move around on your own, knowing those curtsies are coming. Drive down through your left foot. Now with the bent right knee, open up your hip, inhale. Right knee down, curtsy, squat, sit back, and press it back up. 1, open, and down. 2, 3 more. Last 2. Okay, final 1. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, curtsy. From this low position, standing forward fold. Top of your mat. Take your feet wide. Take a ragdoll. Release. Okay, a little bit of movement now. We're going to build our flow. Take your feet, preparing for Malasana. So feet about mat distance, squat down, and find your squat. We're going to come up and down just 5 times. Lubricate those hips a little bit. So inhale, press up. Exhale, squat 1. Press up, and 2. Any arms here. You can play with everything here. Just that up and down motion, staying connected in center. 2 more. 4. Last 1. Up. Squat down. 5. And then stand up. Okay, now before we really get into this with our flow, let's take tree pose. Bring your left foot up. Palms together. You can float your arms up, whatever you need. Use a wall if you need. You can close your eyes. That makes it the hardest here. Let's breathe for 5 breaths. So as I've often said, crow pose unlocks a lot of arm balances. Tree pose unlocks the leg balance sequence. So you're driving the inside edge of your right foot down. You're pushing your right inner thigh into your left heel, and then you're resisting back. Abdominal muscles are engaged, and then your heart tilts up from there. 2 more breaths. And step down, and walk that out. So again, we have external rotation, we have a neutral rotation in the standing leg, we have abdominal engagement, shoulder engagement. Let's take the other side. So much is happening here, and the intelligence of this posture, which is, one of the more basic seeming leg balances in yoga. And once you can get all those pieces, all of the other ones start to make sense. Half moon, revolved half moon, warrior 3, standing split. Right? Shades of it all occur right now. So inside edge of your left foot drives down. Try to stand up a little taller. 2 more breaths. That external rotation in that right hip. Abdominal muscles strong, heart lifts, crown of the head lifts. Last breath. And walk it out. So now we start to play with these balances in our transitions as we build our flow. Let's have some fun with it. I'll probably fall, you might fall. Don't take it too seriously. That's why this is a practice. Stretch your arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, flat back. Chaturanga, exhale. From your down dog, stretch your right leg up. Nice and easy, step to lunge. High lunge, 1 breath, swipe up. Hands down, chaturanga. Flow back to dog. Left side, left leg up. Nice and easy step. High lunge, inhale. Hands down, chaturanga. Flow back to dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump up. Press up to stand, inhale. Exhale, fold. Heart forward, flat back, chaturanga. Stretch your right leg up. Draw it in and step. High lunge, inhale. Let's play with a little rotation work. Warrior two. From your left hip, high lunge, rotate. Left hand down, right arm up. Twisting runner's lunge. Okay, got that flow. Right arm back, high lunge, inhale. Warrior two. We're gonna be doing all this hip work in balancing soon. High lunge. So just preparing on the ground. Twisting runner's lunge. One more round. High lunge. Warrior two. Inhale, high lunge. Twisting runner's lunge. Stretch your right arm forward. As it goes to the ground, straighten your right leg. Rebend your knee. One breath. Standing split left leg up. Inhale. Hands down. Chaturanga. However you want to get back. Flow back to downward facing. Stretch your left leg up. Draw your knee in and step. High lunge. Warrior two. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, right hand down, left arm wraps back and up. A little bit of core work, right? Left arm back and up, high lunge. Pull up from center, warrior two. Inhale, high lunge. Woo. Right hand down, left arm up. One more round, inhale. Warrior two. High lunge. Twisting runner's lunge. Now left arm forward, and then as it finds the ground, straighten your left leg. Pull the hip back. Inhale, rebend your knee, heart forward. Pull your right leg up, standing split. Take an inhale, reach out through that right foot, palms down, chaturanga, however you want to get back. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or jump up. From there, press up to stand, inhale. Bring your feet together. Exhale, right elbow, left thigh, chair twist. It's getting a little deeper twist for a breath. Okay, up, back up, inhale, reach, second side, exhale. Sit a little lower, take your right shoulder on your back. Inhale, press up. Exhale, forward bend. Flat back, inhale, chaturanga. Okay, let's add the balancing. Right leg up. Draw your knee in and step. High lunge. As you exhale, ready, tree pose. See if you can not use your hands. Now, from your tree, we're gonna go curtsy squat. Left knee outside of your right ankle. Come down as low as you'd like, and then come back up to tree. You can use your arms, of course, but see if you can not use them. Curtsy squat. So your range of motion is gonna be, one more time, much different. Up to tree, down to curtsy when you don't use your hands. You might feel a difference. I can definitely go lower on this side. Now, keep your palms at your heart and warrior three. Now you just did rotation, now we ask for a square hip. Flex your left foot. Bend your right knee, tap your left big toe to the ground, come back up, warrior three. Do it again, bend, tap, and up two. One more, tap, up three. Now bend your right knee, warrior two, step back. Triangle, just for 3 breaths. So just loaded that right hip up, and now let's give it some space. Pull your right hip back and spin the right side of your chest up. 2 more breaths. Stretch your left arm forward and release it to the ground. Step back, chaturanga. back to downward facing. Stretch your left leg up. Step softly to lunge. Inhale, arms up, high lunge. Tree pose. From your tree, curtsy. Again, find your depth and then pulse back up to tree. Let's do it again. Curtsy. Pulse up 2. One more, curtsy. From your curtsy, palms come into your heart, warrior 3. Drive up, your toes point down now. So rotate your right hip down. Where's your abdominal engagement? It's there. Bend your left knee, tap your toe back, lift back up 1. Bend, 2. Tap, 3. Warrior 3, take a breath. Start to bend your left knee, warrior 2, step back. Visit triangle, just for 3 breaths. Make sure your left quadricep is engaged, cut your left hip back. Stretch your right arm forward to the ground, hands down, chaturanga, floated dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump up. Good, inhale, press all the way up to stand. Feet together. Exhale, chair twist, left elbow, right thigh. Take a breath. Inhale, press up. Exhale, second side, chair twist. Press up, inhale, reach, exhale, forward bend. Inhale, flat back, chaturanga, flow back to dog. Stretch your right leg up. Nice and easy, lunge. Arms up, high lunge. One time, tree pose. All right, now, here we go. Curtsy. Pause at the bottom. If you have a block, you might want it here, top of the right mat. You can bring your right hand on it or not. Halfmoon pose. Open up. Here we go. So any hands, open your left hip up. Now, warrior 3. From your warrior 3, hand on your block, left hand, right arm up, revolved half-moon pose. Warrior 3. Fun sequence, half-moon pose. Warrior 3. Revolved half-moon pose. Nice, one more. Warrior 3. Flex that left foot, half-moon pose. Warrior 3, revolved half-moon pose. Take a breath. Reach your right arm back, down, forward, warrior 2. Open out. Stretch everything straight, hands to your hips. Inhale. Exhale, fan pose. 3 breaths only, just to release. Strong legs though. Pull your quadriceps up, release your neck. Okay, turn to the front of your mat, chaturanga. Now I know we're just flowing through these balances. In the last round after this, we're gonna get to hold them all, so I'll have more time to play within those poses. Left leg up, nice and easy, step to lunge. Arms up, high lunge. From there, tree, come on up. From your tree, curtsy squat. So we get nice and low. Again, you can have your block on your left side or set it up on the right. Half-moon pose. Press down, open your right hip up. From there, warrior three. Turn your hip down, strong abdominal muscles. Right hand down, left arm spirals up. Revolved moon. Back to three. Strong center, half moon pose. Warrior three. Revolved moon. So now hopefully all that external rotation in the beginning makes sense. One more, half moon, or warrior three, and then half moon. Warrior three, there it is. Revolved half moon. Take a breath. Left arm back, down, warrior two, step back. Straighten your legs, hands to your hips. Take an inhale, lift your heart. Fan pose two. Again, just 3 breaths here. A little forward bend, but strong legs here. Turn to the front, Chaturanga. Flow back to downward facing. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Separate your feet hip distance. Wrap your first 2 fingers around your big toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward bend. Take 5 breaths there. So you play a little tug of war here. Try to pull your toes up, and as you do that, let your elbows turn out. Pull your shoulders away from your neck. Let your head hang. 3 more breaths. And soften your knees, release your toes, and round up to stand. Okay, I don't know where you are. It's warming up in LA, so feeling this one. All right, one more round. Now we start to play, so variations are welcome, but now we'll really take all of that movement and we'll apply it to the engagements needed in the balancing poses. Stretch your arms up, inhale. Exhale, fold. If you want to arm balance back, go ahead. Any way you want to get back. Saturday was all about crows, so today I'm just sticking to the leg balances, but you can throw those in, of course. When you're ready, stretch your right leg up. Nice and easy, step to lunge, lower your back knee. Stretch your arms up. Okay, 5 breaths here. You can take your hands to your kidneys. You can take your hands, clasp them behind your head or your back. Just finding a little bit of a shoulder opener here as you settle down into your hips. Keep pressing the top of your left foot down, creating a little more tension in the front of your left thigh. 2 more breaths. Now, bring your hands down, frame your foot, tuck your back toes. Stretch both legs straight, preparing for balance. Here we go. Bend your knee. We start warrior 3. Lift up. Now, if you can stretch your arms forward, behind you, clasp hands, 5 breaths here in your warrior 3. To revisit, your right foot drives down, the inside edge of your right foot drives down to engage your inner thigh. Your left heel presses back, heart forward, 3 more breaths. Strong center. Come to stand, tree pose. Okay, set it up. Now we've been here before, we're much warmer now. You can stretch your arms up, you can bring your left forearm on your left thigh, and toppling tree, right arm across to a side bend. Again, the hardest thing I think you can do in a tree is close your eyes. So you want to try that out, go ahead. I'm not watching. Well, maybe I am, but you don't know that. Talking to you, Reagan. 2 more breaths. I am talking a little lower today just to see what at the right level is for this mic. Okay, left knee forward, and we're gonna go half moon pose next. So you're gonna drive that leg back, open it up. And then any variation, perhaps if you wanna bend your left knee and play with Chapasana, that's a great option. You can open it up here, 5 breaths. Keep that right foot driving, especially the inside edge of your right foot. Ready? Warrior 3 for a breath. Got to find it again. And then left hand to the ground, or a block is great. Right hand can stay on your hip. Right arm can stretch up, or you can bend your left knee, grab your foot with your right hand and twist there in Revolved Chapasana. You can also stretch your left arm forward. Got 4 more breaths. Last 2 breaths. Release your leg, look down, warrior 2. All right, there's that right leg. Okay, triangle pose. So straightening your right leg, cutting your hip back, and then right hand to your block or your shin. Should feel nice and open here. 5 breaths. Stretch your left arm forward, lower it down. We got one more pose. Soften your knee, hop into pyramid pose. And you can stay with pyramid, or we're gonna progress to one more twist, which is Revolve Triangle. I love this pose, one of my favorite yoga poses. Now, a left hand inside of your right foot on a block is a great option. You can also go outside if that allows you to keep your legs straight. Right hand to your hip, press back, rotate your chest, and then maybe your right arm goes up into your Revolve Triangle pose. Keep wrapping your left hip forward and pulling your right hip back and in. 3 more breaths. Release your hand down, soften your knee. If you want to jump or handstand back, you can play with that transition. Whatever you're going, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Take a breath. And stretch your left leg up. Nice and easy, pull it in and step to lunge, lower your back knee. Okay, so on this low lunge, your arms are your own. You're gonna go behind your head, behind your back, interlaced, little camel stretch, little movement here. What I do wanna see, what you wanna look for is the top of your right foot pressing down, which will help create more stretch in the front of your right thigh. And then finding a little baby back bend if you want here. I got 3 more breaths. Stretch your arms up if they're down. Release your hands, pull your legs straight from there. Getting ready for that left leg. Bend your knee, warrior 3. Pull yourself up. 5 breaths. Flex your feet, engage your shoulders. Even here with my hands in prayer, my shoulders are engaged and my core is engaged. So my whole body is working right now. There's nothing that isn't engaged or lengthening in this pose. 3 more breaths. Try to lift your inner right thigh up and wrap that outer right hip down. Pull up from center, setting up tree pose. And again, your variation here. So if you want to play a half lotus or toppling tree to the side, or again, closing your eyes, probably the most challenging. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Half-moon pose, your variation here. So block if you need it, Shavasana. Three more breaths. Oh, there it is. Last breath. And then visiting your warrior 3 on the way to your last balance here, revolved moon. Left arm can go up, or you can bend your right knee. You do want to try to keep that outer right hip down and your inner thigh up. And as you kick your foot back into your hand, that's where you get that nice shoulder opener here. We got 3 more breaths. Start to extend out through your right leg. We're going to step it back, warrior 2, and we're down. Triangle pose, cut your left hip back. After all of that engagement, this should feel nice and open, I hope. 5 breaths. Last breath. Stretch your right arm forward to the ground. Soften your knee. Hop in for pyramid. Last pose here in our standing sequence today. You can keep with pyramid and fold. Right hand on block. Inside of your foot is great. Maybe it sneaks outside. Left hand to hip. Pull that hip back here. Rotate your chest. Maybe your arm goes up. Let's breathe. My favorite connection to think about in this pose is pushing my right heel down and pressing the crown of my head forward. And right in there, I can find the twist in my midsection. 3 more breaths. Release your hand. Again, last transition back. If you want to play with something, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Tapping your knees to the ground, either moving into child's pose or a seated hero's pose. Just take a few breaths. And close your eyes and just notice, observe where your mind is at. I find that after doing a lot of balancing, which requires really, to me, more focus than anything else in terms of the standing postures, all the postures, makes a really nice prelude to focus or meditation. So just take 3 or 4 more breaths here, and then we'll stretch a little bit. And then we'll open your eyes and come to stand on your knees, stand on your shins here for camel. We'll take a back bend and then we'll take a couple forward bends to wind down. So So wrap your elbows in. Zoe's neck long, heart lifts. You can stay right here. This is perfect camel, just a little tilt to the heart. If you're going hands back to heels, just make sure when you get there, push your hips forward, keep your neck long, breathe for 5. Press your hands into your heels to lift your chest up. 4 more breaths. Last 2. Lift up and sit back on your heels. Ooh, that was nice. I got a little spine crack in that one today. Do a little cat-cow right here. Release. And swing your legs out in front of you. And actually, we're gonna give our hips a little love on our back here before. Let's do one forward bend, and then we'll lie back. So line up your digits, stretch your arms up, and then forward fold over your legs. We'll do lying Gomukhasana, reclining Gomukhasana on our backs, which is really a nice way to give your hips a little love after all that balancing work. But for now, enjoy the length of your Paschimottanasana here. Take about 5 deep breaths. And curl back up. Come to lie on your backs. Hug your knees into your chest. All right, so in those balances, I mean, our entire leg was working, but especially our glutes, so we're gonna really give them a little stretch here. Cross your right knee over your left knee. And try to make your feet even. I know it's challenging, but that's what we're going for. You can hold your calf muscles right here and just lie back. But if you can get your feet, grab your feet, flex your feet. I always think of an accordion like this. If you think of a bandoneon or accordion player, they have their instrument wide and then they're going to pull it in. I know they go in and out slightly different than our hips, but that's always the image I've had. So keep your feet flexed and then try to draw your feet down. And the more parallel to your knees the feet are, the more effective this is. When I started doing this pose, I didn't even come close to parallel. So just understand, like everything, the more time you spend in this, the more patience you have with yourself in these sorts of deeper stretches, the more the results occur. Take about 4 more breaths here. Keep the cross and let your legs drop over to the left. You can double wrap your eagle. I'm going to stay with the single wrap. My knees don't really tolerate a double wrap anymore, so I don't force it. Lift back up to center, unravel your legs. Let's do the other side. You might find it different. This side is definitely harder for me. I usually have that side. That's okay. Try to treat it equally. Feet parallel if you can. Flex them, very important, and then pull your knees in and then pull your feet down. About 4 more deep breaths here. Soften that. You're gonna drop your knees over to the right here, left shoulder down. Twist. I will leave you here as always. I advise taking at least 5 minutes and just really enjoy that rest. I will find a little rest after myself. I'll see you on Thursday for a stretch session. Namaste.